Final.
I just nipped out the back there to see Simon Cox, a very smiley face. Simon Cox, seen his crew win a gold medal in the lightweight men's pairs, and there's Mickey Schmidt, one of his scullers, and he's just cycling off behind us to try and get to the start in time to see the Swiss sculler down.
Yeah, it's pretty busy for the coaches on here, isn't it, getting up and down to the start. It's a bit of a headwind for them as well to get back to the start. So we see the Italian sculler Marcello Miani there, did so well yesterday, and there's Michael Schmidt from Switzerland in 2. Lars Hartig from Germany, who hung in so well and held his nerve in that semi-final to make it through yesterday. Then we see the Irish sculler, Paul O'Donovan. A cheer goes up around the course as his face appears on the screen. Perry Ward from Australia in 5. And then the Portuguese sculler, Pedro Fraga in lane number 6. Just making a few final adjustments before the start.
Italy, Switzerland, Germany, Ireland, Australia.
Now the call over being completed, the sculler's just getting straight and ready.
Attention.
Those blades buried and ready. Great start from the Swiss sculler in lane 2. Didn't he get away well, Martin?
Absolutely, and Mickey Schmidt, I think Simon Cox said, I wish he could row. He'd like to see him in maybe the lightweight men's fours event, but this is his speciality, and of course he won the semi-final ahead of Lars Hartig, the German, and Pedro Fraga, the Portuguese. Led it from start to finish. There's Miani, posted the fastest time in the semis. The Italian over there in lane 1, but the Swiss has got a handy lead. But look at the German, hasn't he gone out? Lars Hartig, the Friedrichstadter Gesellschaft sculler, has really put a burst in the first 250.
Well, he surprised me yesterday in the semi, sorry Sarah, in the semi-final where he went out strongly, seemed to get rode through in the middle, but then had a little bit more to come back at the end.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. It was a very tough race between these two in the semi-final. Lars Hartig just going down to the Swiss sculler, so he's employing the same tactic, perhaps hoping that the conditions will play in his favour by blasting out of the start, and perhaps that tailwind carrying him through the latter stages of the race. But just out to a canvas lead over the Swiss sculler, and in 3rd place is the Italian on the far side.
It's an incredible pace, isn't it, that they've gone out at the top of the screen here, these 3 lanes. Hartig there being matched with the Swiss sculler there, Mickey Schmidt, trying to go with them. And they've moved a long way out on the rest of the field on this side of the screen.
Well, 1:38 was the time that the men's scullers were going through the 500 metres, and they're similar times. So he's gone through Lars Hartig in the same sort of pace that Sinek and Drysdale were going through in their semi-finals.
That is a blistering pace, isn't that? And you often think in tailwinds, lightweights seem to be a bit happier. Lightweights tend to get a bit closer to heavyweights, don't they, in these tailwind conditions? Yeah,
I mean, he's probably going to be right on the limit of 72.5 kilos, isn't he? He's a tall man, 187 centimetres, 6'2" and
just had a little wobble there as he maybe just caught a wave or something.
Yeah, expected to come here in the men's double, but lost out in the selection battle to Moose and Osborne, who will contest the final of that event. So for him, a good performance here is really about staking his claim in the lightweight men's double for the Rio.
And it also shows the strength of that lightweight men's program in Germany. We'll see the lightweight men's double up in the next couple of days, but to have 3 scullers who are all potentially going to win medals in those 2 events is pretty incredible. But moving through on the far side is the Italian sculler over in lane 1, Miani. We saw an impressive performance from him in the semi-final to win that race, and now he's making pretty easy work of the Swiss sculler in lane 2. He's really putting the heat on to move through.
It's interesting how you say easy work, because he does just look very easy around the finish, doesn't he, as we have another look at Hartig, who for me just kind of nods his head a little bit and grits his teeth as he takes the finish. Really nice to see Milani, if we can get a shot of him, just how smooth he is without necessarily looking like he's making quite such an effort.
Yeah, great work, of course, from the Italian setup. Claudio Romagnoli, the head coach of the men's lightweight sculling, and what a depth of talent he has to work with. Milani finished second earlier this season in the Europeans in this event, and well, he's such an experienced competitor, of course, in the lightweight men's fours, just with one oar in the London Olympics. As we look at Mickey Schmidt there, desperate to hang on to the coattails of Milani.
And the Italian now starting to reel in the German, Lars Hartig. We saw the race unfold in one semi-final between the Swiss and the German, but it was in the other semi-final that Milani was racing, and we wondered how this would unfold coming into the A-final, and here it is. Milani absolutely putting the foot down. The Germans still just out to an ever so slight lead, but I think it is the Italian here with the momentum, and yes, we see that little graph down on the left-hand side of your screen. It shows that the superior boat speed is with the Italian as he starts to move out, and a race certainly going on for the 4th position, but I think there's too much of a gap from these top 3 scullers to the athletes in 4, 5 and 6. It will be between these 3 scullers if they can hold on to win the medals.
Look at Milani there. He's so cool, isn't he, with his impassive look on his face compared to Hartig that we saw looking left, looking right. He's just able to move so smoothly, and he's taken probably a length in the last minute or two.
And they come to that bridge we keep referencing. It's just before the 500-metre mark. Want to get a bit of a jump there because you know that you're about to enter the last quarter of the race, and I think that's what we just saw once again there from Milani. It almost looked like he put his foot down. Another gear to go. He wants to take this win, and he's got the advantage lane in lane 1 over on that far side. The German sculler hanging in there for the 2nd position at the moment. The Swiss, he went off so fast in the early stages, but dropping back into the bronze medal position now. I
think we're going to see another world's best time here. It's held by the amazing Frenchman Jeremy Azou at 6:46.93, set on this course when the regatta was here in 2011. But so far, I think the Italian is under that pace, and it's going to be close, but that'll be some ask in these tough conditions.
Well, he's making easy work of it, isn't he? We saw the heavyweight scullers were really struggling at this point. I think perhaps the wind might have just dropped a little bit, because he's certainly able to ride along with this and has seen no drop off in his boat speed at all.
Absolutely, still the fastest moving man on the course, and well, it looks like the 1, 2, 3, Italy, Germany, Switzerland have been well done and dusted. The gold, silver, bronze. From right to left, will the world's best time be in Milani's possession, as well as that gold medal that surely looks his now?
As they come down in front of the grandstand, Milani, a perfectly executed race plan. He just did that to perfection, put his foot down, and away he went to get himself into the gold medal position, and he hasn't been questioned at all in this 2nd half of the race. Lars Hartig will come away with the silver medal, clear of the Swiss sculler, who is being challenged by a very fast finishing Irishman in lane 4, Paul O'Donovan. He had a great semi-final, but unfortunately will finish just outside of the medals in the 4th position.
And it's another new world best time.
And as you can probably hear in the background there, Rob Curling, the announcer, telling the crowd that Milani's time of 6:43.37 is a new world's best mark. Betters that set by Azou in Amsterdam on the Bosman, the same course back in 2011 of 6:46.
It's interesting, he was carrying a bit of water with him as well. So he's just had a little sip from his water bottle at the finish. So what a performance from just such a cool man, such a cool sculler. For me, Martin, I'm putting him up as one of my best technical performers we've seen all day.
He was so cool. I think the shades help because you can't see his face, but it is pretty impassive behind it. And I know you've always said to me, Greg, about how smooth and easy, you know, us commentators say it looks, but actually underneath it all, it's really hurting. And
to me, it reminds me a bit of Kerry Gowler, who again has that kind of impassive look on her face, but just moves so smoothly with a sort of conservancy of efforts. She's not doing anything, and he's not doing anything which isn't just moving the boat forwards in the right direction.
Great shot of the Felipe there with the carbon fibre rigger at, over his feet rather than the reverse wing rigger. It's the forward wing rigger, and the scullers just, you know, prefer one different feel of boat to the other. But that's the setup that Miani has chosen with some success.
Certainly working for him, as we see that confirmation of that new world's best time for Marcello Miani. 6:43.37, winning the men's lightweight single ahead of Hartig of Germany and Michael Schmidt.